The first month was rubbish. They would get 1 like, 2 like, 3 likes. It wasn't very enjoyable, and I hated writing then, but I still did it because I thought there was a long-term thing to gain out of it. So if you're really in this and you're going to say you're going to post online for the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years, who cares about these first 3 months of posts that you're going to put out?
While everybody was talking about AI, you weren't really talking about it.
I had to force myself to start using it as part of my daily life to kind of get used to it. A tool is only as good as the person using it.
What are your thoughts on video?
I watch yours because I like you, and I like and you always bring it. I like it because you can connect with the person at a complete another level. Like, you see them as a real person. So I think it's amazing.
So today on LinkedIn, you said in the last 4 years, you've quit your job, changed careers, moved countries, met your wife and got married, had 0 online presence and grew to 150,000 plus followers, best shape of your life, nervous in meetings, now to confidently consulting CEOs. That's an impressive list. So what is it that you attribute all that you have accomplished and all the progress that you've made? If you can kind of boil it down into, a couple of things, what would it be?
The things I listed out on there, like you mentioned, like meeting my wife and moving country, and they're not like kind of business related, but like everything business related. And I think, to be honest, even confidence related and like kind of mindset related stuff is all come from just writing online, posting content as the kind of the main thing. The reason I started posting online was because when I started my business back in January 2022, I had no clients, it was all started from scratch. And I just, the idea of having to kind of generate clients and grow my business, going to like in-person networking things was just not my thing at all. So like, being creative and writing stuff online and posting content and kind of making like internet friends, if you want to call it, doing it that way, that was a lot more appealing to me. Building my online presence has been just such a huge thing for my confidence, business, career growth, network growth, just so many things. And, in a way that kind of translates into your relationships as well. I think if I'm doing well as a partner, as a husband, and I'm feeling good, I'm confident, and I'm healthy, then it results in kind of, being a better person to be around for my wife. So I think it all kind of contributes to everything, really.
It obviously takes like a very high level of discipline. Is that something that you've always had, or is that something that you've like improved upon over the years?
I wouldn't say discipline is something I've always had. The ability to be comfortable doing very boring things for long periods of time is something that I'm good at. So in my career before I started my business, I worked in marketing for about 8 years, I think. A lot of kind of where I excelled was like analyzing the data, doing that sort of stuff, like looking at data and analyzing things, and also kind of understanding from like a commercial point of view. One of the roles at my company, I was introducing this whole new product category. So it was a whole new category of products for this business. There was like thousands of products and SKUs that we were introducing. At the time, all of them had to be like, you had to get images for them all, product descriptions, like entering them all into the database and getting it all like set up. And that was all on me. So I was just doing all these boring things, but like just understanding that like the commercial outcome on the other side is great. So yeah, I think it's that kind of that willingness to do boring things, really, not necessarily the discipline. It's just a trait I have, is just kind of consistency.
When I first started following you, and this is probably like over 2 years ago now, I believe at that point you were doing ghostwriting. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. So
Okay.
the first year was ghostwriting, yeah.
Do you still do ghostwriting, and what are your thoughts on it now?
I haven't ghostwritten for anyone in over 6 months. I worked with one client for about 2 years, which is like an absolute anomaly for ghostwriting, because typically people hire a ghostwriter for a month or two, find out that they're rubbish, and then fire them. And then they move on to the next person, or they try ChatGPT, or they try doing it themselves. I still love the idea of ghostwriting, and I'm actually coming back round to it, but I'm only looking to work with one client and work with that one client very well, give them all of my focus. And it just has to be a very specific and kind of amazing client, someone who I really like, who I believe is going to be an amazing case study, has amazing stories to tell, has the drive and commitment from their side. I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I don't have to do it. So that almost makes it easier.
What made you shift from the ghostwriting angle into I am going to teach you as a very high level CEO, executive, high level consultants, these people like that don't necessarily have a lot of time to do writing and everything like that, right? So how did you transition from more of like the done for you into I'm going to teach you how to do this?
The reason for transitioning from ghostwriting, so done for you, to done with you, or the consulting, was for me, energy wise, it was a lot easier to teach someone as opposed to doing it for them. What people don't really understand about ghostwriting before they get into it is it's a lot of effort and it takes up a lot of creativity. If you imagine people struggle writing their own content and keeping up with that, imagine doing that for 5 other people who you don't actually know, really. It takes up a lot of creative mental capacity to ghostwrite for someone. So that was one of the reasons why I stopped doing it. And then the other reason was because I'd got to a point where I'd done it for people to a certain level of success that I was able to just take all those learnings and do less, but then get people the same results and almost kind of better results, really, because the person who I'm actually teaching improves their skills, and then B, they also get a really good result. So it's like a double benefit, as opposed to ghostwriting where you just hire someone, they do it. Obviously you save time, but if you're committed, then you're going to be in a much better position if you have a consultant versus someone just doing it for you.
In your headline, it says you make writing fast, easy, and fun. Writing is typically something that takes people a lot of time. It's kind of complicated for them. A lot of people will think of it as the opposite of fun. How have you built a system for busy people who aren't necessarily love writing? How have you put a system in place to help these folks?
The system is really more about the way that I actually look at writing. I don't consider myself like a genius or like smart person in any sorts. I really struggle to understand things that are very complex. So when I'm communicating my ideas, I always end up just communicating them in very simple ways and simple language, and bearing that in mind, like the fast element of what I help people do and help them write quicker. It's what do we need to do to actually make you write faster? It's giving you templates, it's giving you frameworks, it's giving you guidelines to actually write what you need to write, as opposed to sitting there trying to think of a new idea off the top of your head. It's giving my clients all these kind of resources that they need to hop into writing a post quicker and kind of be percentage of the way there already to finishing the post. So that's the kind of fast element of it. The easy element is, I think a lot of people overcomplicate strategy and content strategy. The word strategy just means plan, having a plan that boils down to just knowing what you need to write on each day, essentially. So the easy part of it is just making a plan and making a simple plan that you can turn up, know what you need to write. That makes it all a lot easier. It doesn't make it hard. You know exactly what you need to write because you've got it all planned out for you. And then the fun element of it is more of a mindset thing, but it also kind of comes as a kind of combination of the two things I just described. Because when it's easy and it's quick, when you get results from that, which are often going to be better results because you're using, templates, frameworks, prompts that have kind of proven to guide you in the right way, you're more likely to get a better result out of those things, aka, better engagement or impressions, these sorts of things. So you're more likely to enjoy it. If you keep posting, and like I look back to when I first started posting, the first month was rubbish. Like my posts were just, they would get 1 like, 2 like, 3 likes. It wasn't very enjoyable and I hated writing then, but I still did it because I thought there was a long-term thing to gain out of it. So it's just trying to create a much faster reward system for the person who just doesn't enjoy writing. And also, as I mentioned, the mindset part of it, kind of like this one post that you're going to post today, if you're really in this and you're going to say you're going to post online for the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years, Who cares about these first 3 months of posts that you're going to put out? Just get writing, get rid of all of that stuff you've got going on in your head. Just get writing, and then you can start improving.
That's a lot of how I feel about video. People are very hesitant to start creating video content because they've never done it before and they watch themselves on video and they're like, this is terrible, right? I tell everybody, make video every day for 30 days, just talking to the camera, 30 seconds. And I'm like, and share it with nobody. You don't have to
Mm.
post it. You don't have to put it out anywhere into the world. And the idea is that by the end of the 30 days, hopefully you have something that you feel confident to put into the world because you've been practicing and you've been doing very well or like improving every single day. So I guess it's the same mindset as far as like how to get people just starting to get comfortable with it, right? What do you feel like is the advantage of having these templates or frameworks, like you said, in place, for people to write specifically for LinkedIn?
I think templates are the best way for a total beginner to learn how to write better for LinkedIn, write faster, and enjoy it more. Like in my experience, that was the way that I learned how to write for LinkedIn. I would take what other people have written and had success with, create templates out of them, and then write in that same way, but just put my own unique thoughts and ideas into that template. Or someone who's a lot more advanced and has been writing online for a year, 2 years, for example, they've kind of developed their own tone of voice and they have their own writing style, then templates, it's not going to be any good for you, really. Whenever I mention templates, people just like, a lot of people just hate them, but I think they're just misunderstanding who I'm actually talking to for in terms of who it's useful for. It's useful for that person who is a beginner, who hasn't written on LinkedIn or has written 10 to 50 posts and just doesn't know what they're doing. And it just helps them go from 0 to 1 and gets them going, teaches them some lessons around writing concisely, how to structure your ideas, how to start a post, finish a post, those like the basics of writing. So LinkedIn content, in my opinion.
Yo, if you are a founder and expert who really understands how important video is to grow your business, but you don't have time to mess around with cameras, write scripts, do video editing, or blow your entire budget on a fancy film crew, that's exactly what we help with at Video on Easy Mode. You are literally watching how it works in this episode right now. We make it easy to create high quality, natural video content to help you grow your business and grow your brand without leaving the comfort of your home or office. So if this sounds like something that your business can use right now, either scan the QR code or hit the link in the description. It's all remote. All you got to do is show up to a virtual studio, hang out with me for about an hour, and you're going to get a month's worth of videos. And let's get back into the interview. A lot of people on LinkedIn using AI, they write something into ChatGPT, they give it a prompt, they copy and paste it right onto LinkedIn, and it's so obvious and it's so terrible and everything like that. While everybody was talking about AI, you weren't really talking about it. But recently you have started getting into it a little bit and started sharing some of the tools that you're using and whatnot. So were you resistant to it for a while and now like you're coming around?
I was resistant to AI at the start.
Why?
If I was honest with myself, it was a fear thing, probably. 99% of people who are writers or copywriters or do writing for a living were scared. I think it's now becoming clearer who is kind of safe, quote unquote, or not. It's becoming clear that it's going to be really hard for anyone who's a copywriter coming in fresh and new now to really start something and be a successful copywriter. But if you're someone who has built a brand around themselves and has, a personality online, has a presence online, has case studies of where you've helped clients get results, then I think you're going to be good. Because people are buying into you, not necessarily the thing you do. You're kind of AI proofing yourself in a way that people are buying you and your experience as opposed to the writing itself. But yeah, I've definitely become more kind of familiar with AI and more kind of, I use it a lot more. It took me a while to kind of use it and really get used to it, because at the start I just had no clue what I was doing in terms of like prompting and stuff like that. I had to force myself to start using it as part of my daily life to kind of get used to it, because it's a new tool at the end of the day, and like a tool is only as good as the person using it. So and the strategy behind it. But it's obviously improved like crazy over even the last 6 months. Coming to kind of now, this year, I've become a partner with Magic Post, the tool. It's an AI LinkedIn content writing tool. And the main reason I joined them and started partnering on that and advising them on what they're doing is I want to be able to have some sort of influence on how people are using AI to write content, because I really dislike the way people are doing it in terms of the copy paste, because I've used AI to ask it to write me a post. I've copied and pasted it. And if I've tested posting it before, if it's a post that I just didn't understand why it done well in the first place, I haven't learned anything. I've literally learned nothing. So that's the thing that I just hate. What people don't realize they're doing when they copy and paste a post that AI has written for them is they're completely removing their personality from their writing and from their content. Even though the writing that AI might do for you might be like perfect, like it's concise, it's mobile optimized, it's da 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 da. That's not the point. Like the point is you add your own ways that you say things and your own ways that you think about things and the own ideas that you have. They might not be right, or they might not be the most concisely formed way of putting it, but that's your way of putting it and your way of writing it, which is the whole reason for writing online, because that attracts interesting people who like the way that you write and like the ideas that you put out into the world and like the way you present these ideas. It's so counterproductive to just copy and paste. You might go viral and keep going viral, which is great, but if you're depending on what your goals are and what kind of business you're in, for example, I think it's just so counterproductive.
You said something to me the other day, which was that email should be your highest conversion channel. You write beautiful emails, by the way. Like
Yeah.
I think I've said that too. I'm just like, I'm impressed. I get your emails. I get them daily. I typically don't read a lot of people's emails. How are you approaching email? What is your strategy there? And give a little bit of insight into what you're doing.
It starts with the LinkedIn content. So I'll post something on LinkedIn. I'll drop a link in my post to drive people to a lead magnet, which at the moment is a free book around how to grow your audience on LinkedIn. It's like 5 chapters, 29 pages about just some mistakes and lessons that I've learned over the last few years. People sign up to that, they get that for free. Once they get that, I then send them an automated email sequence, which gives them even more value. And then after that, I then pitch them into joining my community, Copy Builders, which is the main thing that I'm promoting at the moment on kind of driving people into, as opposed to courses. I ask people to reply to those emails. I then start a conversation with them and see if they're a right fit to join the community. If they join, great. If they don't, that's fine. The main thing is that they come onto my email list, get a ton of value, and then they go on their merry way. After that, I'm then sending them daily emails. And the way I structure my daily emails, I'm making an offer of some sort every day, Monday to Friday, whether it's a low ticket product, course, one-to-one work, something that will either rotate every week, or more recently, what I've been testing is doing 3 weeks of build up and then 1 week of launch for that offer. What works better, I'm not too sure yet, but that has been working well for me. The big secret is the frequency in which you email people, making it very conversational so it feels more like you're just slipping into someone's daily life and kind of chatting to them like a friend, as opposed to, like LinkedIn content where it's very kind of formulaic, and just open and closing offers. People respond to urgency like mad. If something's going to be there 1 minute and gone the next, then people want to get it just in case it's not there. So that's the kind of the overall approach.
What are your thoughts on video when it comes to LinkedIn?
I actually don't really watch many people's videos on LinkedIn. I watch yours because I like you and I like and you always
Well,
bring
thank
it,
you.
which you'd hope I do because I'm talking to you now. But I actually don't find myself watching much video on LinkedIn, funnily enough. But on YouTube, I watch a ton of YouTube stuff. I really like YouTube, whether it's educational stuff or just stuff for fun. I like watching like food like channels on YouTube. Just the other night I was watching like baristas making the latte art.
You could definitely get lost in that kind of thing.
Yeah. I watch videos for kind of educational and like kind of hobby interest kind of stuff. But for me personally, to create video, it's just I like it because you can connect with the person a complete another level. Like you hear them speak, you see them move, you see them as a real person. So I think it's amazing. But for me, it's just not one of my strengths, I don't think. So I just play to my strengths and I write, and I think that's kind of just my approach. I play to my strength, which is the writing.
Do you think that as LinkedIn moves towards becoming more of a video platform, do you think that your thoughts on it might change and that you might try to get yourself out of your comfort zone a little more and do some more or no?
Oh, definitely. I've tried a couple of things on TikTok, just messing around. One of those like day in the life things. And
Really? Oh man, I gotta find you on there.
you go watch it. I'm sure you'd be like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" I just hate listening to my voice back, you know? I just hate it. When I released my first video course, one of the big pieces of feedback was people really enjoyed the way like, my tone of voice, which for me was just like, "This is mad that people actually really like that." I'm definitely not against video. I love it. I think it's amazing. I think if you're confident with it and you can do it well, then I think you should definitely be doing it.
So look, Matt, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. Hopefully you'll come back again sometime. And I'm off to TikTok right now to find you. Speaking of where to find you, tell everybody else where they can find you right now.
So I post every day on LinkedIn, sometimes twice. So just come and find me on LinkedIn. My name's Matt Barker. There's a free book, like I mentioned, around how to build a LinkedIn audience on my profile page right at the top. And you will be invited to join Copy Builders on the way.
Beautiful. I love it, Matt. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon.